All right, hey guys, it's Bradu. I am playing Shadowdark, the Ruins of Ardust, and I'm down to a party of two. We have Fumblefizz the Forgetful, a wizard, and Carlsby the Courageous, a halfling. Valkyrie, a halfling Valkyrie, and an and a human wizard. Fumblefizz is human. For a second, I was thinking half elf, which doesn't exist. So last session was a hairy one, and I was like, "What the heck? How come I can't remember anything that happened?" Well, I just looked. I was three. It's been almost 3 weeks or over 3 weeks since I played before Christmas. So no wonder I've spent the last hour like, "Oh, I should play some, Shadow Dark tonight. Play some solo." And I was like, "What the heck?" I'm trying to just remember what I was doing. I was rewatching videos, checking my notes, which are horrible. But a quick recap is that we fought some harpies. It was horrible. Quarlin fell to his death. He didn't make it. Carlsby, by some miracle, rolled a nat 20 on his last death timer check and woke up with 1 hit point while being carried mid-air by a harpy and carried off to like some cave or something. So didn't have this map out, but essentially what happened is Carlsby was put here in the cave, pretended to still be dead, dead or asleep or whatever. I guess dead. He was supposed to be no, not dead, but unconscious. Anyway, he woke up. Yeah, he would have been dead. I don't quite know what the harpy thinks, but the harpy brings him here, dumps him off, thinking he's dead. He wakes up and was playing dead, waited for the harpy to be asleep or whatever, does his invisible thing, finds his gear. I really, for whatever reason, I made it so he could only. I rolled to how much time or how much of his gear he could find or whatever, and he was able to only grab his armor and his sword. So he's without the bulk of his gear. Um, and Fumblefizz is back here. He's going to, I guess, fumble. Well, so it's crazy. It's a bad situation. It's night. We were trying to rest when the harpies called us from our rest. So Fumblefizz is not wounded, but he does need to rest. The two characters are split. Carlsby doesn't know where he is. Fumblefizz doesn't know where Carlsby is. So how do I do this whole situation? It's a terrible situation, but I think the real key here is duck on it. I think the real key here is that um, I had forgotten Carlsby has a Raven follower familiar, which I'm going to use this. By having a mini, I think I'll remember it better. This is a bat, but I think it'll work perfect because at least we can tell it's a black bird thing on a branch. I actually painted this one. I'm not much of a painter. This is not much of a painting, but I love this little mini. It's cool. It's pretty awesome for a single bat, or in this case, a raven, who so far is nameless. But doggone it, and now I screwed up my. There we go. Nope, no better. So I think that's the key. I think the raven follows the harpy, taking Carlsby to know where he is. So while Carlsby is stuck here, the raven spots where he is and flies back to Fumblefizz to see how far they are and to be able to essentially tell Fumblefizz. He could carry a note, but he doesn't have. So the Valkyrie is out of the player companion by Chubby Funster, and he could carry a written note, but how's Carlsby going to write a note? Carlsby can see through the bird's eyes, so that is helpful. He's going to be able to see when he's, you know, back with it a little bit, that the Raven gets back to Fumblefizz. So Carlsby is now outside. The Harpy is in some cave somewhere. Who knows where? We'll just put Carlsby in a weird field because he did get out. And all he really knows right now is that he doesn't know where he is and he needs to get back to Fumble Fizz, and he's in horrible shape. Uh, what I'm leaning towards, maybe what he has to do is just try to rest and hide, because he's got one hit point. He's not really in any sort of shape to travel. Fumble Fizz, on the other hand, has all his hit points, but doesn't have all of his spells, doesn't have anything, cannot really carry anything. I think Fumble Fizz is going to do his buddy Quarlin a solid to the best of his ability and try to bury him. Did I already do this? Gosh darn it, I should have rewatched my whole session. I feel like maybe I buried him under this bridge, or I want to bury him under this bridge. I don't know what my... Okay, he doesn't have like a shovel and stuff. But actually, you know what? Maybe he would, because what does Quarlin have? He wouldn't be able to carry all this gear, but he would have access to Quarlin's gear. So maybe they both stay put and try to survive the night, and at least try to rest. Does that make sense? No, they've got it. One of them has to get to the other. Doggone it. And Carlsby doesn't really know where to go. So I think Carlsby stays put. That's what we're going to do. Carlsby's going to stay put and try to camp out for the night. Just find a safe place to stay, because the familiar knows where he is close enough to be able to get back there. So Carlsby's going to try to rest. He has nobody to watch. Camping, what was I doing for camping? Oh, I believe it's a wisdom check. He has a very nice high wisdom. So let's use my... Is that even on screen? We'll find out. Kinda, but not really. 6. Not a good wisdom check, but a 6 plus 3 makes it a 9. So he's not in horrible shape. He's going to try to rest. He would roll a regular old random encounter check during the night, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to switch gears over to Fumble Fizz. So Fumble Fizz is taking Quarlin's body and trying to give him as proper a burial as he can, because it's just too late. There's nothing that can be done for Quarlin. And while he's doing that, or while he's finishing up, who shows up but the familiar bird? The familiar. Familiar. He recognizes it. So it's a familiar in that way, too. And... oh, I forgot a key piece. That whole last session, I forgot a very, very key piece. And that is that they had a glass box and a weird stone tablet from the previous session, from the dungeon they were in, were the harpies after that? Is that why the harpies came after him? And did the harpies take that? That is a very valid question, and I don't know if I know the answer yet. Quarlin has strength of 13. He only had 1. Carlsby had by far the most spots. So Carlsby would have those things, which means the harpy now has them. Regardless of whether that's why the harpy went after him, that means Carlsby had the weird stone and the glass box, which we don't really know what the glass box is yet, except that it had some sort of magic mouth enchantment on it. So, it's left in the cave with the harpy, at least for now. Okay. What are you going to do, Fumble Fizz? He's got to try and travel. Fumble Fizz has to try and travel to Carlsby. He has to try to... so he's going to light a torch, which I believe I have. I'll mark one off. I don't know if I've been tracking that perfectly. Not my strong suit. Oh God, this is bad news. So I was trying to use music for the first time, and then ads pop up. So hopefully I got one with no ads this time. We'll find out. Okay, where was I? Fumblefizz has to get to Carlsby. He only has one gear slot. Can that can the Raven carry anything? I think he will. The Raven should carry something. Maybe he carries the torch. Nah, nah, nah. That's no good. Would that be weird? The Raven's carrying a torch so that Fumblefizz can stay relatively hidden. I'm not gonna do that. Good lord. So I will stash away his stuff though, because we may be able to come back. So we'll stash away his stuff near where Borland is being buried. And by buried, I mean loosely, because really all he could probably do is probably like pile some rocks over him or something, right? We might even need to come back for that. I'm thinking this all out, out as I'm going. Definitely feel out of practice because a few weeks is a long time to like you lose everything in the story, but also it's like how the heck do I play solo? All right, so which one item would Fumblefizz take? He can't really use the weapons. 10 silver spikes. That's what. Yep, that's what he would take. 10 silver spikes. So he'll take that. And here we go. Fumblefizz has to try to get to Carlsby. Can he find him? Yes, because all he has to do is follow the bird. Here's what we need to know. How far away is... I'm going to just make a judgment call here and say there's no way he's more than 2 hexes away. So we're going to go with... What was my... I got my travel thing here. Hexes. 1 hex takes 2 hours, essentially. So we'll say he's either in the same hex, 1 hex away, or 2 hexes away. So 1 and 2 is same hex, 5, 6 is 2 hexes away. 2 hexes away is the most distance away. A random encounter check per hex. So this is not great. So Fumblefizz will move following. So the Raven's going to be flying high, but not so high that Fumblefizz can't see it and follow it. We're going to make a random encounter check. The good news is the Raven should be able to help keep an eye on this sort of thing. First hex random encounter check, only on a 1. Nope. So we moved out of that. So second hex random encounter check for Fumblefizz. And if there is none, he's at least in the right hex. 6, 6, 6. Did I just roll 3 6s in a row? Maybe not. So he's in the right hex. Am I making this too easy for him to find Carlsby? Because I was like, how are they going to find each other? Now is when I'll do Carlsby's. Because now it's been 4 hours of travel, and Fumblefizz is essentially pushing it. And on that note, I'm going to have Carlsby make 1 random encounter check while he's resting. 3, no good. And 1 more, which is going to be at the end of his rest. So he's got to make 1 every... I don't know if it should be every 2 hours. I can't even remember. I'm just winging it. But it's going to take Fumblefizz at least 4 hours to get to him. So I'm going to make 1 more random encounter toward the end of that. Like as Fumblefizz is getting into this hex. And we have a 6 again. Okay, so... All right. So they at least find each other. Fumblefizz finds Carlsby hiding out poorly, but at least not in a spot that the harpy finds him or that anybody else finds him. Wake up, friend, wake up. So Carlsby's up. Oh man, I need healing. I need rest. Yes, but at least we have each other. My voices suck for this. I need to come up with character voices. So Carlsby's a halfling. He should have a small voice, but he's a courageous halfling. And Fumblefizz is an old man. Oh, what is her name again? It's not that forgetful. Uh, man, let me figure out what the heck I'm gonna do. All right, so what I am gonna do is give. So Carlsby has half a rest. He's rested for 4 hours. Fumble Fizz is kind of gonna go. I don't know if this is the safest place to rest, but having said that, Fumble Fizz has the worst wisdom possible. It's a 3. I don't even know how to play that except that I try and make him forgetful. But he's gonna see if he can find a better place. Could he possibly? There's no way he can find a better place. I'll roll it, but there's no way. Yeah, 9. So his place would be even worse. Barely, but even worse. So they're gonna rest up. They now need to rest another 4 hours at least, I think. But the Raven can watch. I believe the Raven could watch. So Carlsby can get in his full rest, and Fumble Fizz, who doesn't totally need a rest for the hit points, but he does need to regain a spell. So we're going to do one more random encounter check while they sleep to see if they can get their rest. No encounter. Okay. So a whole lot of nothing happened, but they're back together. They're pretty darn. Is there? Oh, Carlsby has a lot of. I know what we have to do. Carlsby has a lot of um, gear slots available, and they are right near the Harpy's lair, new lair, a cave. So I think we have to go after the Harpy because we have to get to the rest of Carlsby's stuff, at least the stone, right? I think. They had a hell of a hard time. Can they have a chance to take on the Harpy with the two of them? Maybe, because the difference this time is the Harpy is not the one stalking them, but the other way around. So that's what we're going to do. Carlsby's going to go. So everybody gets their stuff back for starters. I think Carlsby even luckily gets back to full HP. His he's not to full. His armor class is not full because he had to leave his shield, so he's only got a sword. So they're gonna go back into the Harpy Cave. Before we do that, I'm gonna do my best to really use this Raven to my advantage because I had completely forgotten I have it, and I think it can be super useful. So the Harpy's in here somewhere. The Raven is going to peek in, and we need to figure out what the Harpy is doing. The big question is the Harpy asleep? Let's say that is a 1 in 4 chance, because I'm thinking how much? No, 1 in 3. 1 in 3 chance. So a Harpy is sleeping on a 5 or a 6. 1. Got rid of my 1. So I would say a 1 in that instance if I'm using that as somewhat of a reaction check, with the 6 being sleeping and not alert at all. I'm thinking a 1 means that the Harpy is alert and ready and aware that he's been lost. And in fact, maybe even coming out to look for him, but hasn't yet. So, do we need any kind of an oracle check to see if the Harpy is going to hunt? Actually, I think we know what's happening, because the Harpy is coming out to look, and we're coming in to go after her. So I don't have a proper map for this. I just kind of pulled up a cave-looking map. So we're going to I think we're just going to roll initiative, and that'll give us an idea who leads the charge. So Harpy's red, we're blue. Initiative. Harpy's red 4, we're blue 18. Ah, great. Great. So that what that means is that's surprise. Even though the Harpy is alert, realizes Carlsby's gone. The reason I call that surprise, my house rule for surprise is if you win initiative by 10 or more, which we did, 18 to a 4. Not even the dex it'll easily be 10. Um, that means that because Carlsby's able to see through the Raven's eyes, even though the Harpy is coming out to look, Fumblefizz and Carlsby are able to scope out a way to uh, to be able to ambush her and be ready. So the Raven's going to be off somewhere, not spotted by the Harpy. The Harpy's flying out of the nest and looking, and we're able to see through the Raven's eyes that the Harpy is coming. And we are going to, let's see, on a surprise, the way that I tend to do that, like my rule basically is somebody gets, oh, I don't have ranged, do I? Woo! I don't have a ranged attack with Carlsby. That sucks. I needed to. Does Fumblefizz have a ranged attack? Magic Missile. He's got ranged attack spells. So So what it means is I would get advantage. But the only thing I could do is Magic Missile. So what I will do is have Carlsby hide. And Fumblefizz is, before making an attack, going to cast Mage Armor. 7. Ooh, that's close. 7 plus 3 is a miss. God dang it. So no Mage Armor. Ugh, that's not a good way to start. But what I am going to get is Magic Missile. So far, I'll probably pull up a map for this at some point. But for now, I'm just going to see what happens. So, Magic Missile is coming. It's at advantage. It's at advantage anyway. And don't I have 2 dice? Yeah, there we go. Here we go. Magic Missile. I only need an 11. Only. Ooh, I got it. There's an 11 there. Can you see it? Where should my dice be? You can barely see it. So I got Magic Missile. My house rule for Magic Missile, did I write it down? I hope so. I did not. Dang it. My house rule for Magic Missile is 2 missiles at D3 instead of 1 missile at D4. So 3, 4. 4 hit points total on the Harpy. And that's going to kind of give away our position. The Harpy had not taken any damage, or even if she did, she would regain it on a rest the same way we would, is what I would say. Right? I don't know if that's totally true, but that's what we're playing. That's the way we're playing it. So, she takes 4 hit points of damage, and it's her turn. Carlsby really can't do anything except hide. So he will try to hide. So we're going to give him a... should I make a check for that? The Harpy kind of at least knows where we are now, so she's going to know which way to go. And she would use her song anyway. No matter what, she would use her song, even if she can't see him. So that answers our question. So she's going to sing her song. And we know it now, but there's probably not much we can do about it. Enemies who can hear within double near, DC 12 Charisma, or dazed and drawn to the Harpy. Immune for a day if a passed check. Ooh. Are they immune? There's a good chance. I got to figure that answer out to that. Okay, so I had to go back and rewatch the session. Fumblefizz made his save. So Fumble Fizz is not, cannot be compelled by this, but Carlsby had not made his save. So he needs to make a check. So here we go. Carlsby, it's a Charisma 12. 6. Gosh darn it. He's compelled once again to walk towards the harpy. And in this instance, I really need to figure out the situation. Except I think what I'm going to do is use my luck token. My house rule is I always start every session with 1 luck token. I really need to make sure this doesn't happen. So I'm going to use my luck token right now and pray. 13. He's got a -1 to charisma, which makes it a 12. He passes. Okay, so the harpy. The harpy singing her song, and it does no good. She's like, "What the hell?" That sucks, right? Well, same for you, but not for us. So the question now is, I think I'm just gonna theater of the mind this at this point because, oh God, Carlsby still can't do anything, right? She would float. She's not dumb. She would float up in the sky. She can fly. So she's going to go up in the sky so they can't do whatever. So at least Carlsby can't. That sucks, Carlsby. He can't do a damn thing. Well, So Fumble Fizz is going to do Magic Missile again. I think that's my only move. It's automatically at advantage, as I recall. 7? Oh no, did I lose it? +5. Okay. Whew, that was close. 7 + 5. So the Magic Missile does hit. 4. This is just going to be a war for 7 damage. No, not 7. 2, 3, 4. For 4 damage. Another 4. So that puts her at 6. Ooh, that's enough. Okay. That's enough to force a morale check. So, he casts this spell. Missiles go firing. She's up in the air. She gets hit. Her wing gets clipped, and she's got to make a morale check, which is a DC 15 something or other. 15 charisma, maybe? 16! I think she got it! She does not have any negatives. So she made... This bitch. You were supposed to run right now. That would have been perfect. So she's pissed. She's gonna dive bomb. There's no way. Carlsby's no threat. She's dive bombing Fumble Fizz. She's not stupid. So she comes down. She's got claws, right? 2 claws. Oh boy. Fuck. Nothing else I could do, right? She's got 2 claws. She's coming down. She doesn't have advantage or anything like that. But she's got a +3, and his AC is a lousy ass 9. 16. She absolutely horks him for... not counting that because it wasn't in the thing. 2 damage. So he survives it. The first one on the dive bomb. But now she's right there. She's going to keep slicing away. He probably can't survive another one. 16 again. I don't want to say what. So here she goes. She swipes with another claw. Fumble Fizz can't evade. He takes the full 6 damage. And down he goes. Fumble Fizz. Slashed right across the face. Ugh. And it wounds him. And Carlsby's like, what do you do? Now, she did dive bomb him. So she's stuck there having gripped him with her claws. And at least Carlsby now gets a chance to attack. And he's got to. He's got Oh no! I used my luck token. He's got a longsword. He's got a +3. He better hit. 12 +3. That's got to be a hit. It is. Longsword does D8. How much damage do we need here? She's got 6 hit points left. We need 6. Come on, Carlsby with the big hit for 7 damage. So Carlsby, seeing Fumble Fizz go down, he is. I wish I had the luck token thing because I would gain a luck token on a hit, but he is enraged and just slices her right in the gut. She doubles over, lets out a no, and she's dead. She's dead. But Fumble Fizz might be as well because Carlsby doesn't have any healing, does he? Shit. I can't die. I have no luck token and no healing. Once again, I have to have somebody with some kind of healing. Okay. Well, I guess this is it. I do not want to lose Fumble Fizz. I have to make a check. So that was the turn that Fumble Fizz went down. So right now is when he would make his check to see how many. So this is turn 1. Oops. But I'm not going to roll it yet because on turn 1, Carlsby's going to try to make the intelligence check. It's a 15, I believe. 15 intelligence. He's got a +1. So he has a chance on a 14. 18! Whew. God, I was totally fearing for Fumble Fizz's life here. So Carlsby is able to stabilize Fumble Fizz. And I think that it's a house rule. I think I've talked about this. I can't totally remember. But my house rule, my new rule, and I've thought about this and talked about this on and looked at what some other people do on Reddit and the Shadowdark Facebook group. Basically, it's dumb to have somebody stable but can't do anything. So stable is now 1 hit point. So Fumble Fizz regains his 1 hit point. Oh my god. And we really have to do something to get reinforcements. The harpy is dead. Both harpies are dead. You know what I don't know? I don't even remember if I rolled any treasure for the harpy. I probably did back at this roost when this was their initial roost. So what I'm going to do is have Carlsby and Fumble Fizz go into the cave where they were, and I'm going to roll another treasure check for the harpy because this was a secondary home, essentially, a cave that she took him to. So the thought is, if she knew about it, which we don't know yet, I could do an oracle check, but I'm just going to make it a treasure check. But giving you guys my thought process, if she knew about this place, then it could be like a secondary home, a secondary cave nest, whatever. They probably should have a nest. I don't know why I chose a cave, except that I needed a place for his body to go. So maybe she's got a nest in the cave. But anyway, she could have treasure there. She could have something there. If she already knew. If she didn't know, then there would be no treasure for sure, right? So on that note, I'm going to do a treasure check, which is a 1, 2, or a 4, 5, or a 6. Gosh darn it. Dropped a die. But I'm going to do it at disadvantage. So 4, 5, or a 6 treasure, but I'm going to do it at disadvantage, so I'd need both dice to be 4, 5, or 6 for there to be a treasure. And I have a 2 and a 2. So clearly not. We'll worry about that later. I drop a die every single episode, don't I? It's absolutely ridiculous. Unacceptable. And no treasure. But he does get his stuff. So they're definitely 100% getting the... He's going to get all his gear back. He's going to get all his gear back. And then with those extra slots, he gets the weird stone and the glass box. And I'm a little confused about something. This is like, in the Ardust book, weird stone is like, it's hard to handle now. It can mess you up if you touch it too much. So they're going to put it in the glass box. At least that, I think, is the idea of what the glass box is. That's what I'm going to use it for. Okay, so we really, really need to get to safety now. And we only know where one safe town is, I believe, and it's to the north. So I think at this point, got all our gear back, got our party back together. Fumblefizz has one lousy hit point and has lost mage armor, but they need to travel. So I'm gonna start traveling. We're gonna hex crawl it. I don't know if you guys are supposed to see the whole map, but I'm gonna look at it. So we're at this hex. No, we decided we're a couple hexes over, right? Ooh, which direction? Couple hexes, which direction? We were 2 hexes away, right? I'm just going to roll it like... Well, let's see. What are our directions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A D6. 1 is up. So 5 is down. Oh, boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we went over here. You can't see that. We're here. We're here. This was the hex we were in. So we're here. So that means we're actually... I need to figure out where the other towns are, because now we would have to go even further. I don't really want to wander into one of those other hexes. There's 2. Let me figure out where the other towns are. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky. We're... Vorn, the village we started at, is to the north. It would take us 3 days to get there because we'd have to travel through most of Ardust, most of the ruins to get there. At this point, we're actually not closer to, but we're headed towards the biggest city, which is known as Glencairn, the largest city and regional capital, Glencairn. So because it's the largest city, they would know about it. I don't need to check if they know the location or whatever. So we know that that's 4 days travel to the southwest. And that's where we're headed anyway. We just went southwest of where we were. So I'm going to do 4 days travel and hope we can get there. So, man, it's been so long I don't even know how to travel. So we only have the 2 of us. Our guide is going to be the Raven. We're traveling just side by side. It is early in the first day. So the first day we get, let's see, each hex takes 2 hours. I can do 4 hexes a day on foot. That's where I'm at. Each hex has a 1 in 6 chance of a random encounter. That's all I'm really going to do is roll for random encounters. So we have 4 days worth. 4 days travel. Here we go. First, oh boy, we're going to have to look at our... Oh, and we're not going to worry about quarreling yet, because there's nothing we can do with only 2 of us. First hex. 1, no encounter. Second hex. There's an encounter in the very second hex. So on the first day, second hex, we already have an encounter. There's nifty little random encounter charts in Ruins of Ardust. Will said that he said the encounter tables are cool. Ooh, is this in or near Ardust? I think it's near, because I think we're just leaving Ardust, but it's right on the border if I look at the map. So if it's something that makes no sense, I might look at the other option. But we're going to go with encounters near Ardust. Here's our encounter. This is going to be our... we're going to finish off this session pretty quick here. Oh, okay, interesting. This is interesting, and so it's gonna make sense. We're gonna go for it. So we come upon, while we're traveling, a jangling. I don't quite know what that means in this in this sense. A jangling parade led by a priest and 1d12 devout, whatever. 1d12, so 7. So a priest and 7 peasants. Oh, and it tells us what they're doing based on a die roll. What are they doing? Seeking an ancient temple or relic. Okay. Is the temple... I'm trying to see if there's any way we can spin this at all to like help us or to do something. Is the temple something they're looking for in Ardust? And I think it probably makes sense if it is. Oh, I didn't do alignments for my characters. I was gonna see if we have like a connection. I probably should. I don't love alignment at baseline because I like alignment to be defined by the character's actions, not what's written on the sheet. But at the same time, I probably should have done it and had an idea. Okay, so they're seeking an ancient temple or relic. Are they seeking something within Ardust? If I roll that, I would roll it at advantage. I'm just going to say they are. They definitely are. So, is it one of these in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10. It definitely is. So, I'm going to do... Are they in order in like a table of contents or whatever? I'm going to roll a d10. And whichever one they're looking for is the order that they are in the book. Number 8, of course. So it's going to be 2 from last. Emmaus and Minos. Wait, Emmaus is 10. Minos is 9. And Orrery. Okay. So actually close. They just don't realize it. Do we know where it is? I don't think we know where it is. That's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping we knew where it was. There's 2 we've been to, and we would have been able to help them. Wait. Oh, nope, that's not one we know. For a split second, I thought it was one we know. So do we know of it? I don't think so. Doggone it. Have we got any rumors or anything? Shoot. I didn't write down rumors? Oh, rumors. Okay. Born is 1 day travel to the north. I should have traveled there, huh? Oh, that's right. The rumors I have aren't specific enough for me to know without being, like as a solo player, I can't read through everything to understand what the rumors mean. Oh, man. Okay, so do we have any idea where the orrery is? I think it's unlikely. So I'm going to make it a charisma check because would Carlsby or Fumblefizz know? Fumblefizz has a +2. I'm going to make it a DC 18. So there's a chance that each of them know. Carlsby, does Carlsby know on a DC 18? So he would need to roll a 19 or an 18. 19! He does! Carlsby has heard of the orrery. That's great. So we're here. So he's able to tell the priests that they are to... Oh, should I have rolled a reaction check? Doggone it. No, I'm not going to, because it doesn't say anything about them being... yeah, I should, shouldn't I? Doggone it. I'm going to roll a reaction check, and I hope it's relatively nice. Because otherwise, it's going to put a kink in what I'm trying to do. Reaction check. 5 and 6. Not good at all. Hostile, except Fumble Fizz does have a +2 to charisma, so I can bump that up to suspicious. So at least that's good. Thank goodness, because hostile would not be good at all in this situation with a lot of them. If I had got something really positive, I might have been able to, like... I know what I'm going to do. I do have an idea here. So, here's what happens. They're suspicious. They're questioning us. What are you guys doing? And in some way, we're able to at least get a little discussion with them and find out that they are searching for something. They're not quite sure where it is. And Carlsby's like, I've heard of that. I know it's at the orrery. That's all I know it by, because I'm just looking at the map. I'm sure there's a bigger name. But anyway, they need to head 2 hexes to the northwest from where we are now, essentially. And on that note, I think that they would have a much more positive... They might be suspicious. I guess that's the thing. Suspicious is that maybe they don't trust us. So we're telling them, but maybe they don't trust us completely. So what do I do here? Give it another reaction check? And if it's better, like, they give us something for the... Yeah, I'm going to do another reaction check. It can't get worse. So I'm going to do another reaction check. Let's do this. Let's do another reaction check at advantage, since they've given us a positive, since we've given them some information. So a 9, much better, and then that makes it 11. Yeah, so an 11 is much better. It might even be positive. If it's positive, we're good. Ooh, 11 is curious, not quite friendly. I was gonna say, can they do anything to help us? Like, and I guess the answer is probably no. I do know what it's going to be. They're not going to get... I was going to say, could they give us like a potion or something? Like, we really need healing. What I will say is they've got 8 priests. They'll at least cast a healing spell on Fumble Fizz. So, Fumble Fizz... And I'm not even going to roll it because he's down 3 hit points. But we'll put him at max. So, well, you know what? Got a long ass session here, but that wasn't exactly a like stopping point either. So priests can go on their way. We have 4 days travel, so we have 2 more hexes to get through on the first day. But now I'm at full hit points at least. 1, I'm rolling the wrong die, and 2. Okay, we made it. Had I gotten super friendly, I might have tried a friendly reaction, which I did not. My thought, and this is just kind of to help. I kind of figure most people watching my playthroughs are either interested in playing solo themselves or are already playing solo themselves. So that's why I do little things like this. If I had gotten a friendly reaction, I might have had some opportunity to see if one of the followers wants to accompany us, because we really need another party member, at least to get us back to safety, back to that city or whatever. Maybe become a party member. Who the heck knows? But anyway, since I didn't quite get the friendly, I don't see that going. I got curious. Okay, so they'll heal us up in exchange for us pointing them in the right direction. They weren't totally trusting, so that's the most that we get out of it. Anyway, so now we've traveled 4 hexes, and now we need to rest. Rest for the night, so I've got to find a camping spot. That is Carlsby's. And a 4. I think my... Oh, boy. So that's 4 times 2, 8. They've got to do some time to get... They've got to use their... rations. At least I could have filled up on rations. Yeah, I'm full on rations. So they'll each use a ration. So I'll put us down to two more rations, two rations each. Um, but they could not find a good camping spot. So is there a? I'm gonna roll two. We're gonna roll two random encounters in the night. One and two. Nope. Okay, so even though we didn't have a safe camping spot, I can't remember what my rule is for that. Doggone it. Do I have one? Camp. Check for safety. Under 9. Oh, party would be surprised. So, do I make a check every. So, essentially, I just made two checks. That's one every 4 hours, one per each character's watch. But I decided the bird could watch, right? Or does the bird need to sleep too? Doesn't matter. Okay, next day, next hexes. Here we go. I'm just trying to travel relatively quickly. I'm not trying to make the travel super, whatever, super in depth. Second day, first hex. 1, 2, ooh, 3. Second day, third hex. We have an encounter. And now we're definitely out of Ardust, right? So, a 3. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, this is possibly bad news. Okay. We let me try and get the details of this before I tell you what it is. So, this is fun. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. The distance is important here, and the activity might be important here. So I'm going to roll those things out of the core book. Activity 8. Building nesting, that makes sense. Okay. Building nesting means they might not be super alert. And distance 6, far away. So that's good for us. I have a wisdom 12 to avoid the encounter. This is one. So here's what happens. We see far off in the distance 1d4. All these rules. 1d4. 1. Ooh, maybe this is good actually. Maybe we don't want to avoid it. I'm gonna roll my avoidance. I don't know if this is even my house rule or just whatever, where it came from. In my hex crawl, wisdom 12 to avoid an encounter. So I'm gonna roll a wisdom check to avoid the encounter. 3. We obviously can't avoid the encounter anyway. But it is just 1. So here's what we see. Somewhere far off in the distance, we see a giant wasp with a goblin riding it, and the goblin is wearing a praying mantis mask. And it is building a nest, a wasp doesn't really have a nest, right? A wasp would be. So maybe it's like getting pollen or whatever, pollinating and getting something to take back to the hive. And I think we will decide. So we can't avoid it, right? We're rolling initiative. That's what's happening. We have a 15, they have a 12. So we do get initiative, but it sees us because I rolled that it couldn't avoid it. So it sees us and it starts heading our direction. And that's where we'll end this session. This was a really long one for not a lot happening. I'm not sure what the heck I was thinking there. So, all right. We'll catch you next time and see what happens with this goblin wasp mantis. Cool. I like it.